Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome to this exercise session. It's been designed to get us working at a moderate to vigorous level. We provide seated and standing options all the way through. There's a couple of reasons we do that. One of the reasons is to allow you to choose the right exercise for you. It may be for the given day that you would choose to do it standing or seated, or you may want to transition from one exercise in seated to another one in standing, depending upon how you're feeling in any given session. Monitor yourself throughout the session. A really good way to do that is the talk test. If you can talk but not sing, you'll be working at a moderate level. And if you can talk for only a few words before needing to stop for a breath, you'll be working at a vigorous level. So choose the level that's right for you today. The only equipment needed is 1 or 2 chairs. They need to be sturdy, stable and static. Use one chair if you're doing the seated option all the way through. If you're coming up to standing, you can use 1 or 2 chairs as a stability aid. Just stay aware of keeping the feet clear of the legs of the chairs during the movements. In terms of other things that you need for the session, have a drink of water close by so that you can rehydrate. In terms of medication, if you need anything like an inhaler or any other medication that you may need during the session, have that within reach. And another good idea is, particularly if you're exercising by yourself, have a mobile phone close by so that you can phone somebody if you need to. Prepare the area so that it's safe to move around. Make sure there's no rugs that you can trip over or anything like that. Make sure it's a clear space so that you've got freedom and confidence to move around in. I'd recommend you watch the video all the way through before you take part. Then you get to see what to expect, what the exercises are like, and then you can come back and take part with a clearer picture of what you're going to be doing. And in terms of approach to the exercise, start small and slow with the greatest amount of stability and then develop from there. It's always best to develop confidence and skill, and then that allows you to add difficulty as you progress. And the key bit is have fun with it. Nobody gets fit in one session. Nobody gets all the skills they need in one session. If you have fun, you're more likely to come back and keep doing it. So enjoy it and good luck with it. Before we start moving, we need to check in with the foundation of our movement, our posture. 2 key areas to focus in on initially, our pelvis and our shoulders. Our pelvis first, just rock between 2 extremes, tucking the tailbone under, engaging the muscles through here, and then take it back so the bottom sticks out, and then rock between those 2 extremes. Once you've done that a couple of times, come back to a midpoint. So if you imagine this area here as a bucket, and really we're looking to keep that bucket nice and flat on the surface. Thanks, Andy. I'll just pause you there a second. It's just a slight difference. It's just about the feel in the sitting position, and it's just about the feel of rocking past the sitting bones, tucking the tailbone under, and then forwards past the sitting bones, and then getting that middle point. And for the seated options throughout the session, if you can, it's best to sit on the front half of the chair away from the backrest. From here, you may start to feel these muscles engage. These are really important muscles. A good way of thinking about it is to imagine that you are going to get a knock to the tummy and brace against that. That really engages all of the interconnecting muscles through this area to support the lower back. From there, we move up to the shoulders. We just take them forwards, up towards the ears, and then as we take them back and down, we imagine our shoulder blades going into our back pockets, pushing them into those back pockets. Once you're into that position, just push the shoulders down to increase this distance from our ears to our shoulders. From there, lengthen through the spine, and then finally, imagine that there's a rope attached to the back of the head and just pulling that up towards the ceiling. Just keeping our chin in a neutral position, not too high, not too low, in this midpoint, and that is a great foundation for our movement. And from this strong posture, we're going to layer on movement, starting with our feet hip width or shoulder width apart, nice and strong in the upper body, and we're just going to start with heel lift and lowers. Nice and tall, start to become aware of the quality of the movement, how the feet, the heels are contacting the floor. Turn this into marching legs. Strong through this upper body, keeping the shoulders wide. Marching legs and seated can cause the large muscles of the thighs to tire. Stay with heel lifts if you need to. and starting to become aware again of the contact between our foot and the floor. We're starting by boosting the circulation, increasing our heart rate and preparing the body for the exercise to come. We're going to shift our focus to our arms, so keeping the legs still, nice and strong. And again, this is a great one to start becoming aware of this control that we can gain through our core muscles. Nice and strong. Working on swinging our arms from our shoulders. Having the arms swinging down the sides in these parallel tracks. We're going to turn it into a full march. Combining this together with added complexity to this upright posture, and we need to keep on checking in with that. How tall are we feeling? How wide do we feel through the shoulders? We're going to mobilize the joints, oiling them to ease our movement for the rest of the session. Bring the feet to a standstill. We're just going to mobilize the shoulders the way we did at the very start when we were looking at posture. So really go for a big circle, try and smooth it out. We're just going to do 4 of those. Push the shoulders forwards, up, and then get those shoulder blades back and down into the back pockets. Back to marching. Nice and tall. Okay, we're going to go to side bends next. So for mobilising the shoulders, we're going to now mobilise the spine. In seated and standing, have the feet a bit wider than shoulder width. In seated, keep hold of the chair with one hand as you reach down to the floor with the other. Imagine there's a pane of glass directly in front of you and behind you, only allowing us to bend directly down to the side. Just 2 each side. Back to marching. Nice and tall. We're going to continue with this mobilization through the spine, but we're now mobilizing the rotation through the spine. Hands just crossed in front. Take the arms around, rotating around the axis of the spine. In seated, walk the hands around to assist the rotation. Slight bend at the knees in standing, keeping the hips facing forward. Just 2 each side. Back to marching. Now we're going to mobilise the ankle. So stabilise the posture again. Just 4 full heel-toe movements on each foot. Work on hitting the same spot on the floor with the heel and your toe. Over to the other side. Really try to get as big a movement as you possibly can. Back to marching. Wide through the shoulders. We're now starting to warm up for both our body and mind. So we've started boosting the circulation with those first few moves of the march, and then we've mobilised, oiled the joints. Now we're going to head into a bit of harder work. Use the talk test to monitor yourself. Working at a moderate level allows you to talk but not sing, and when working at a vigorous level, you'll have to stop for a breath after speaking a few words. We're still warming the mind and body up, getting ready for the main part of the work. We're going to change to toe taps, wide through the shoulders. Control this upper body. This is a really good starting position. We're going to start working on dual tasking. We're going to bring in the upper body with opposite side punches. Off we go. We'll add challenge by changing what our legs and arms do. Take the arms out. Again, stabilize through this core area. We're going to go same side arm punches. From here, we'll take them out. And then what we'll start to do is really get our brain thinking. Opposites, and then we'll swap straight across to same side. Same side. Nice and strong. And then swap straight across to opposites. Same side. Strong through the posture. Going to take the movement into the side direction. Just take the arms out. In seated position, track the knees over the feet. Start small and work on developing the size of the movement. We're going to bring in arms, and they're going to go to the side on opposites. So we can go there. If that's uncomfortable, it can be just this little hitch a ride. And in a minute, we can start to extend it if you want to. No arms. Nice and tall. Going to bring in same side arms. You can extend if you want to, if it's right for you or whoever's next to you. No arms. Going to bring back in this switching. So opposites first. And then we're going to swap that over to the same side. Again, it can be through here. Opposites. Same side again. Okay, we're challenging ourselves even further with this. We're going to take the feet forward, but the arms to the side. Settle in with that. Change over to opposites. Okay, we're going to swap to feet side, arms forward. Still opposites. Nice and strong. Same side. We're going to do one more round of these. Same side still, but feet forward, arms to the side. These can be challenging. We're thinking, planning and performing several skills at the same time. Keep working at it. It's the practice that is beneficial. Working towards getting it right. Going to go to opposite sides. We're going to go to feet side, arms forward. Still in these opposites. Great stuff. Keep working with it. Same side. As we build to the main bit of work, we're going to change the moves and increase the workload. Start small and build to increase the level you're working at to suit you. Changing to side steps. We're going to bring it in a little row. When it comes to the movements, it's a good practice to start small and then increase the size of the movement to a level that's the right challenge for you. Work on extending the arms forward and opening the hand and driving them back in the pull, squeezing between the shoulders at the back position and clenching the fists. We're changing the movement to knee lifts with forward punches. Nice and strong. We're going to be changing the direction of these punches. Work on extending and making them definite moves. Side punches. Change to up punches. Lengthen through the body as you punch the fist up as high as you can. Returning to the side step move, we can turn these into heel lifts And if it's right for you, hamstring curls. Start with a smaller move, increase the size if that feels right for you. To increase the work, you can increase the size of the movement by adding a small dip in to a squat in the middle. Back to knee lifts, this time with a punch sequence. We'll go 2 forward, 2 side and 2 up. So forwards, side, up. Forwards, side, up. Keep going with that sequence. Checking the posture. Last 2. Back to marching. Drink break, grab a drink of water, and if you can, keep marching. Now we're heading into the main circuit. We have 3 rounds of the same 5 exercises. We work for 32 seconds and have an active rest for the 16 seconds between each exercise. In the first round, we have a longer time between exercises so that we have time to introduce each one. Use the talk test and how you feel to monitor yourself. Work at your level. If you feel ill or in pain, stop the session. First up are superheroes. Keep marching as I demonstrate the exercise. I'll show you the base movement and options of how to alter it to suit you. Start small with the greatest stability and develop from there. For standing, you can start with a small knee bend and you can keep both feet on the floor for stability and the reach. And for seated, you can progress with a larger weight shift and increase the straightening of the leg, and work on following the hand with your eyes and head position. Lean the forearm on the leg as we shift our weight across. Off we go. We're going to do 8 in the 32 seconds. Brace the tummy to stabilize. A real drive up. Working from the tips of our toes to the fingertips. As you progress in standing, you can lift the training foot and increase the time and balance. You can also increase the depth of the squat or knee bend. Back to marching. Next up are side lunges with reach. They look like this. We're going to do 8 in the 32 seconds. Start small with the greatest stability and develop from there. You can start with keeping the head and eyes looking straight ahead when taking the step to the side. As you progress in standing, you can follow the hand with your eyes, gradually increase the size of the step, turning it into a lunge. And for seated, you can progress with a larger step round to the side and a larger reach and lean. Off we go! Developing the step and the hand reach to go slightly backwards as well. The same principles hold for seated, progressing to a larger step round to the side and a larger reach and lean. Brace the tummy to stabilize. Make the movement definite and deliberate. Really drive with a strong leg push back to the center. Keep the trailing leg as straight as you can. Back to marching. Next up are back lunges with reach. They look like this. Make sure you've got enough space behind you to take the step backwards. Start small with the greatest stability and develop from there. In seated, bring both feet back towards the seat a little and the step will be forward instead of backward and the body will lean forward with a straight back. In standing, as you progress, you can step back further and increase the depth of the lunge until the back knee is stopping just before it touches the ground. The same principle holds for seated, progressing to a larger step forward with a larger lean forward. Off we go. We're going to do 8 in the 32 seconds. Brace the tummy to stabilize. Make the movement definite and deliberate. In the standing option, keep the body as upright as you can. Use a strong leg drive back to the upright position. Back to marching. Next up are squat twists. They look like this. In seated, we have a single lean forward with a straight back. Come back to upright from the lean and then twist. In standing and seated, we can start with a smaller rotation by bringing the arms to 45 degrees, halfway between the side and front. As you progress, you can take the arms further out to the sides to increase the rotation. As we rotate, allow the hips to turn and lift the heel of the trailing foot. Turn the feet to point outwards a little. Work on keeping the knees tracking in line with the toes. Off we go. We're going to do 8 in the 32 seconds. For the standing squat pulse, you can start with a small knee bend. As you progress, you can increase the depth of the squat. The deeper you go, the harder it is. For seated, progress the size of the forward knee. Brace the tummy to stabilise. Make the movement definite and deliberate. In the squat, imagine sitting down in a chair, pushing the bottom back and keeping the body upright. Back to marching. Next up is a dual tasking sequence. They look like this. Depending on the speed you choose, we'll be doing between 4 and 16 full sequences. Keep the legs moving as they are. The arms go up, cross shoulders, out to the sides, and down. We'll do these first 2 at the slower pace and then speed it up. Up, cross shoulders, out to the sides, and down. Brace the tummy to stabilise. Make the movements definite and deliberate. Go at the pace that's right for you today. Okay, let's speed it up if you want to. These can be challenging. It's about developing a number of skills to work together. Keep working at it. It is the practice that is beneficial, not just getting it right. Back to marching. Drink break, grab a drink of water, and if you can, keep the legs moving. In the second round, we're going to add something inspired by something called kiai, referring to an energetic yell or shout. It comes from many of the martial arts. I'm going to use mine to count, and I will also use it at times to express the movement, like up or twist. Use it to express the energy that you're putting into the movement. And here's round 2. Okay, we're changing our active rest this round to side steps with row. Coming up are superheroes. These are great for stabilising our movement, strengthening and widening our base of support for walking, changing direction and balancing. We're going to count the reps down from 8. Make it as loud as your neighbours will allow. 8. Brace the tummy to stabilise. 7. A real drive up. 6. Make the movement definite and deliberate. 5. Wide through the shoulders. 4. 3. 2. 1. Back to side steps. Side lunges coming up. These are great for shifting our weight and stabilising in movement, for moving with confidence to the side and turning. Off we go! 8. Long through the spine. 7. Really drive with a strong leg push back to the centre. 6. Wide through the shoulders. 5. Keep the trailing leg as straight as you can. 4. Watching out for plants. 3. 2. 1. Back to side steps. Coming up are back lunges with reach. These are great for stabilising in our weight shift, strengthening posture, creating a strong base for balance and developing our strength, helping with hill and stair climbing. Off we go! 8. Brace the tummy to stabilise. 7. Use a strong leg drive back to the upright position. 6. Wide through the shoulders. 5. In the standing option, keep the body as upright as you can. 4. 3. 2. 1. Back to side steps. Coming up are squat twists. These are great for stabilizing and rotation while developing our strength that will help with all squatting movements like crouching down and getting out of a chair. Off we go! 8. Working from the tips of our toes to the fingertips. 7. Brace the tummy. 6. Tall through the spine. 5. Wide through the shoulders. 4. 3. 2. 1. Back to side steps. Coming up is dual tasking with these side steps. These are great for developing our ability to dual task, developing coordination, working memory and focus. Last one of this round. Off we go! In this round we'll introduce some extra challenge. Keep the right arm still, left arm only. Swap it over and bring the right arm back in and left arm still. Back to side steps with row. Drink break, grab a drink of water, and if you can, keep the legs moving. Vary the size of this active rest to adapt the workload to suit you. If you want to increase the work, then make the movements bigger, increase the range of movement, or if you're wanting to decrease how hard you're working, decrease the size of the movement. Third and final round. Okay, we're changing our active rest this round to back taps. Coming up are superheroes. For the first half, I will use the key eye to describe the move. Then I'll return to counting down the reps. Up, brace the tummy to stabilize. Up, a real drive up. Up, make the movement definite and deliberate. Up, wide through the shoulders. 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning to back taps. Coming up are side lunges with reach. This 16-second rest, just recompose, check through the posture. We're going to count the reps down from 8. 8. Long through the spine. 7. Really drive with a strong leg push back to the center. 6. Wide through the shoulders. 5. Keep the trailing leg as straight as you can. 4. 3. 2. 1. Returning to back taps. Coming up are back lunges with reach. Really focus in on clenching the fist as we bring the hand to our side and then open the fingers fully when they come forward. 8. Brace the tummy to stabilize. 7. Use a strong leg drive back to the upright position. 6. Wide through the shoulders. 5. Keep the trailing leg as straight as you can. 4. In the standing option, keep the body as upright as you can. 3. Keep going. 2. 1. Returning to back taps. Coming up are squat twists. For the first half, I will use the key eye to describe the move. Then I'll return to counting down the reps. Twist, working from the tips of our toes to the fingertips. Twist. Brace the tummy. Twist. Tall through the spine. twist, wide through the shoulders, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning to back taps. Just one more exercise, dual tasking with these back taps. Make the movement definite and deliberate. Left arm only. Working from the tips of the toes to the fingertips. Right arm only. Brace the tummy to stabilize. Both arms together. We're almost there. Great stuff. We've completed the hardest work. We're heading into the cool down to bring our bodies back to a steady state, back to normal. Grab a drink of water, and if you can, keep the legs moving. Start to decrease the size of these movements. Last few back taps. Changing to side steps. Becoming aware of the quality of our movement when we are feeling tired. Helping our body to return to a steadier state, helping recover from the work we've done. Back to marching. How does our posture feel? Becoming aware of the quality of our movement while we're tired. Changing to just legs. Become aware of the breathing. Finally, marching arms only. Finally, we're going to stretch. First up is the back of our upper arm. This stretches our tricep. We may also feel a stretch across the back of our shoulder and some of the muscles in our back. It's the same movement in seated and standing. Take the right arm, supporting it at the elbow with the other hand, and walk the fingers of the right hand down the back until you feel a stretch down the back of the arm. We want to feel a stretch, not feeling any pain. Focus on relaxed, natural breathing, and we'll hold this for around 30 seconds to allow the muscle to adapt. It's important to think about and hold our best posture as we stretch. This allows us to stretch the muscles we're focusing on and reduces the stress on areas of the body that we're not stretching. Swapping over to the other arm, repeating the same process on this side. You can develop it by adding a little support from the assisting hand and by walking our fingers a little further down our back. Stretching helps us get balance across our joints, helping us maintain our optimum posture, which in turn aids our stability. It also helps develop our range of movement for everyday tasks, like reaching for things, putting on clothes or walking. The improved balance across our joints also reduces the risk of injury when we move and exercise. Next, we have a chest stretch. This stretches the muscles across the front of our chest and our shoulders. We have a couple of options. In the first option, we start with our arms down by our side and palms turned to face forward and thumbs pointing out to the side. We breathe in, open the chest and take our hands back, turning the palms to face outward and thumbs pointing back. Keep the spine long, chest high, and tummy braced to support the lower back. The other option is to place our hands on the top of our buttocks or the bottom of our waist with the thumbs pointing down. We breathe in and open the chest, and as we breathe out, we squeeze the elbows together behind us. Whichever option we choose, take the movement to the point where we feel the stretch across our chest and hold, relaxing into it with each breath. Again, focus on relaxed, natural breathing, and we'll hold this for around 30 seconds to allow the muscles to adapt. Develop it by either taking the hands further back and turning them out more for the first option, or squeezing the elbows together for the second option. Stretching the upper back of each leg, this stretches our hamstrings. Take the right foot forward. In the standing position, that's having the leg straight out in front, and in the seated, it's just straighter than the other leg. Rest the heel on the floor and relax the ankle. Supporting ourselves on the other leg, we get the stretch by pivoting at the hips, keeping the back straight, not rounding it, and keeping the chest high. Remember, we want to feel a stretch, not feeling any pain. Swapping over to the other leg, repeating the same process on this side. Focus on relaxed, natural breathing, and we'll hold this for around 30 seconds to allow the muscles to adapt. Relax into the stretch with each breath out. If you feel it relax, you can develop it by pivoting more at the hips. So as we hold each stretch, we focus on lengthening through the spine as we breathe in, and relaxing into the stretch as we breathe out, letting go of the tension in the muscle we're stretching. Stretching the back of the lower part of the leg, this stretches the muscles of the calf. The different movements in seated and standing. Keep the spine and neck long and our tummy braced. In the seated position, the setup is very like the last stretch. Take the right foot forward so it's straighter and put the heel on the floor. Then pull the toes up towards us until we feel a stretch up the calf. In standing, step the right foot back, pushing the heel down to the floor and keeping both feet pointing directly forwards. Initially, focus in on having a nice long straight line from the back heel up to the top of the head. For this one, it can be good to use a chair, wall or bench to lean against in the standing position. And if you want to develop it from here, you can add in an extra stretch down the front of the thigh of the back leg. You can do that by bringing the body up to upright, bracing the tummy to support the lower back, and as you come up to upright, hopefully you'll feel a stretch down the front of the thigh of the back leg. We focus on lengthening through the spine as we breathe in, and relaxing into the stretch as we breathe out, letting go of the tension in the muscle we're stretching. Swapping over to the other leg, repeating the same process on this side. Focus on relaxed, natural breathing, and we'll hold this for around 30 seconds to allow the muscles to adapt. Again, we want to feel a stretch, not feeling any pain. And that is us done. Great work. Thank you for doing this session with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more videos coming soon. Click the like button if you liked it, or the dislike button if you didn't. Let us know how you get on in the comments below.